Band-Aid, you know, like where like they were all performing at Wembley. No, that was Live Aid. What is going on, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be us counting down 10 British words that we cannot say in Australia. Now, if you like this content, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. This helps us understand, are you liking the content we're creating, and makes us want to make more of it. Now, we do have a few regular viewers who watch the channel and love our adventures, but we have told you guys that we are currently in the process of preparing for Cody's family, her dad, her stepmom and her two brothers coming over and experiencing Australia for the first time with us. That's happening in 2 weeks. So we're very excited to be joined by more family members, but in the meantime, we're going to be doing a lot more sit-down talking videos as we're preparing on the back end, off video, off camera. So hope you enjoy that, hope you understand. Let's get into today's countdown. Cody, what is the first word that we can't use in Australia?
The first word is bobble. Now, you can have a guess what you think that word might mean. I'm not sure if you get it right, because the translation would be a hair tie. So this is a Northern English thing, and maybe even Scottish, potentially.
Scottish as well, I believe. Yeah. And I think Canadian.
Oh, interesting.
Canadian. From the research I did, I think it said some parts of Canada use the word bobble as well. So shout out to any Canadians watching who use that word. But yeah, it is a weird one, and it's been one that I've multiple times been in a situation where I've said, has anybody got a bobble?
And then I translate
you
for
got
you.
Hair tie.
You've said it to Holly.
Holly,
yes.
yes.
You get a bobble? And I'm like, she doesn't know what you're saying, Joe. He means a hair tie. She's like, oh, right, yeah. Yeah,
or like if I've jumped in a pool or the water and my hair tie, my bobble, has like come out and my hair's gone a bit Tarzan crazy. And I'm like, I need a bobble. And everyone's like, what is that? Is that like a flotation device? Is he drowning? I don't know.
It doesn't remotely sound like hair tie, so I can understand why that would confuse some people.
It's one of those that I've had to start saying a hair tie. But innately in my brain, I want to say bobble.
Yeah.
Do any Aussies say it? Let us know. A lot of Aussies actually come from British family members in their lineage, so maybe there's a couple of Aussies out there that are repping bobble with me.
Well, I hope
Come on, bobble crew. I nearly said bozzle crew. The second word on the list is going to be the word plaster. Now, plaster is the word we would use to describe a band-aid. Now, I'm not sure about this. I've not been in many scenarios where I've needed one of these, but I don't know what Aussies actually say. I've never actually read it on the packaging if I've picked any up in the supermarket.
Like, is that like the official word, but there's a lot of Aussies that have another slang word for
Maybe.
it, potentially?
Like you said, Band-Aid just sounds too American.
It does.
Or I imagine Band-Aid, you know, like where like they were all performing at Wembley, like, you know, Queen and David Bowie all on stage.
I don't think of a plaster.
I think a Band-Aid like that. But yeah, no, that was Live Aid.
Live Aid? Maybe you call them Live Aid.
Band-Aid were the ones who did the Christmas song, but do they know it? Right, as you can see, I'm sure there's a lot of you commenting that I don't know what I'm talking about, but it sounds like I need a Band-Aid on my head. Do you guys have another word for it? When researching this word, it came up and said, Aussies use Band-Aid. Is that correct? It's quite hard to find information online, as a lot more of the time it goes to American terms rather than Australian. So I tried really searching on this one to find the differences. So let me know, do you say Band-Aid? Because we say plaster, and when you say plaster to people, they instantly think you mean getting a wall done plastered, or like, what do you want plaster for? Oh, I need a plaster. Like, you imagine you cut your arm open and then somebody just starts plastering your arm. Yeah, it's not a word that I've heard used. So is there another term that Aussies use, or do you say Band-Aid? It's one of those, it's too different, that word. That's another one, like bobble and hair tie. Because they're so different, I can't get my mind into saying it. I need to start.
The next word on the list, the British word, would be cling film. This is what you would know as glad wrap.
Glad wrap, yeah.
This is a funny one. Again, this is sticking with me more than it is with Joe, and I don't know if it's because maybe, I don't know, I notice it in the supermarket more. That sounds crazy.
Was that a pun?
I've heard
that it sticks to you? Are you really trying to crack puns right now? We're trying to sort out words issues, and Cody's just cracking puns.
No, on a serious note though, like it's an unusual one again that we just can't it doesn't stick. So when we say cling film, there might be some people that know what we mean, but there'll be a lot of people that go, huh, what?
Yeah. Cling film is one. Luckily, it's one of those scenarios where I think we've only ever said it to Di. I know one of our friends It's not one that often gets brought up, but
No.
when you do see it in the shopping centre, in the supermarket, if you're going round Coles and you didn't know where it was, if you were to ask a staff member and say, do you know where the cling film is? You might get, what on earth are you talking about? So, yeah, one of those that is a scenario that can cause a little bit of confusion. We say cling film, Aussies say glad wrap. I do know that glad wrap is a brand name.
Oh.
Like how we say Hoover for vacuum, that's another one that's not on the list.
So what else do they call it when it's not glad wrap then?
I don't know, that's what I'm wondering. So maybe there is a term that is said. But yeah, another one that's not even on the list as a bonus is the word Hoover. I got him. Mr. Miyagi. There was a little fly, but don't worry, I'll hoover him up later.
No, you'll vacuum
him
up later.
Maybe I'll wrap him up in some cling film or glad wrap. But yeah, those are two separate words, like you said. Hoover got in there as a bonus one. Another word that we wouldn't really use. Oh, can I just hoover this up? Aussies might get a bit confused. They would say vacuum, we say hoover, and the same for glad wrap and cling film. Both brand names though, it's weird how that works.
This is like a lesson, isn't it? For both Aussies and Brits.
I feel like it's a therapy session.
Therapy session?
Yeah, like a meeting. We're all having a sit down and a chin wag.
Yeah, chin
Did
wag.
he say chin wag? I don't know.
Oh no, they're all coming out.
I'm
Stick
going
to the
too
list.
British, too
Stick to the
British.
list.
This next word, number 4 on the list, is pavement. Now this would be what I believe Australians call a footpath. These aren't always existent, especially where we live in the Sunshine Coast. I don't know whether in cities and more built up areas, a lot more of your kind of urban areas, I'm guessing footpaths or pavements are a lot more common. But where we are, just sometimes people's drives just are the bit that you walk on and
Like
it
the
feels
garden.
wrong, like the garden.
Yeah.
We've heard a rule that in Australia, like the first metre of your land is always owned by the government.
Or the body corporate.
Or the body corporate or something like that. So legally that isn't your land, so people can walk on that bit. I don't know. Somebody in the comment section can let us understand that a bit more. But when there is a pavement or a footpath or a sidewalk, I think sidewalk's American.
That sounds very
We're
American.
all different. Although we all speak English, we all speak very different kinds of English. But we would say pavement. If we're walking down the street, going down the pavement is the term that we would use.
Not that different. I feel like it's definitely a word that people would understand. I'm sure, maybe.
Maybe.
More than some others. Who knows? Let us know in the comments. But yeah, interesting one. So for the next word, as you walk down the pavement, you might then see one of these. And this would be, in the UK, known as a semi-detached house.
Oh, yeah.
Where here in Australia, you would call that a duplex, I think.
Is that what they call it?
I think so.
A duplex?
So that would be a house that is semi-detached, so it's attached to one house and not on the other side.
Yeah, like a centrally connected house that is split into two almost. Yeah, interesting.
Interesting. So
A
we
duplex.
have seen these, haven't we? These do exist, but I get confused as to what's a duplex and what's a terrace house here in Australia because they're quite big. So
Yeah.
it's like even the terrace houses are bigger. I know you guys have said there's quite a lot of smaller terrace houses, more like a traditional maybe UK build. We need to see these maybe down south to see
Definitely.
how similar they actually are because I still feel like they'll be quite different, but who knows until we've seen them with our own eyes. When moving here and looking for a house and seeing the word duplex, because I wasn't too sure what it was for the longest time.
I've never seen that term not too much anyway. We've not really looked at the market too much since moving here, and Cody did a lot of the preparing for us to move over here. So Cody's probably seen that word more than I have. I'm usually around the vacuum and the cling film than the duplex. But yeah, interesting way of seeing it, isn't it? Duplex. Sounds weird.
Does.
Sounds professional.
Yeah, it
The duplex. The next word on the list is ute. Now, ute has a different meaning in the UK. It's not a word that we would use, but in Australia, the word means a utility vehicle, shortened, ute. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, a very popular car out here in Australia. I'd never really seen that kind of car in the UK before moving out here, so
never heard the term.
never seen the term, never heard the term, but the term is used in a different way, and that is in London. Now, we would never use this word, but it is a word that some British people would use, and the word ute is to refer to a young person. So a young individual would be a ute. I believe it comes from MLE, which is Multicultural London English. which is derived from patois Jamaican, along with other Caribbean islands and a few different dialects from around the world. So a big mixing pot of cultures in London that have kind of combined into their own English.
I'm going to be honest with you, I hadn't even heard of this word myself until you researched it.
Yeah,
but
I know what
it is
it
a
was.
UK word, so before I came to Australia, I just didn't know the word ute for anything.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it for
It is one of those, but some British people use it, so I've been
Yeah.
sure to include it, especially with the fact that it has multiple meanings. So in Australia, the word ute, if you were to say it, could cause some confusion. If you were from London, Kookaburra's having his say on it as well. But yeah, if you were from London and you use that word quite commonly now, which has become a lot more common in that area of London, in the younger generation, to even say that over here would cause a lot of confusion. So not a word that we would ever use, but if you did come over from London and you use that word, it could cause a little bit of confusion.
The next word that is definitely commonly used in the UK is the word lorry. This is crazy because in Australia you would only call this a truck, right?
Yes, I believe.
We don't really use the word truck. We use it more now we live here, but in the UK I think quite a lot of people would say lorry.
Lorry.
Which is a weird word, isn't it? Lorry. It's actually a bit of an unusual
Is a bit
one.
of an odd one. I don't know where it derives from.
Yeah, so that would be what you would call a big truck.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One of our friends, Shannon, who is an Aussie, has had multiple disagreements with me over this, as his brother actually drives what we would call a lorry. Now, he was showing me images of his brother, and he goes, oh, look, this is what my brother drives. Be aware, his brother is incredible. Some of the vehicles that he drives are like 300
huge.
wheel vehicles. Like, I didn't even know they exist. Like, the only time I've ever seen vehicles like that is in a Transformer film.
Yeah.
Then it transforms into a giant robot. But he was showing me the vehicle that his brother drives and being, look at this big monster of a vehicle. And I was like, that is a big lorry. And he went, huh? And I was like, yeah, it's a big lorry. And he went, no, it's a truck. And I went, well, yeah, truck, yeah. I know what truck means, but yeah, I would say that's a lorry. And he's like, no, it's a truck. So again, one of those words that has actually caused real life, not arguments, but disagreements or confusion, definitely, living here, is the word lorry.
So you need to stop using that word, Joe.
Well, I like to use it for a tongue twister. So before we start recording, helps you get your mouth moving. You go, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry.
That's hard. See if you can do that one.
It's one of those tongue twisters that they tell you to do as a kid. So yeah, you might see me doing it if I've not cut out the beginning bit of a video where I try and get my mouth ready to film. So I go, yeah, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry.
That's pretty funny.
She sells seashells on a seashore. Never do that one.
That was really
Never
funny.
do that one. The next one on the list is not one that I have many expertise with. But that is the word dungarees. Now, we say the word dungarees, but you guys in Australia might know it as overalls. We'll flash them up on screen for anybody confused or wondering. But Cody, you're probably better to take this one. I don't actually know enough about it.
We had a scenario when we went to one of the events the other day, and there was that lovely lady selling the dungarees, and you said, they would be nice for my mum, might get some, but she was calling them overalls.
Yes, she was,
And
yeah.
overalls to us would be more of like a work term, like you put your overalls on for work. So for example, anyone that might work on a building site or
A doctor. Doctor's overalls or a nurse.
overalls like that. That's what we would use. I don't know if you would use that as that same word, not too sure. Maybe you do, and then you use it for overalls in that. Maybe they're the same thing, which they kind of are, I guess. It's something that goes over a t-shirt usually. That's what dungarees are, aren't they? So yeah, again, very different kind of word. They definitely don't sound similar.
Dungarees, I don't know where that even comes from. But
Well, it's funny because you would never say dungarees as work overalls. So that would be two separate words in the UK.
Yeah.
You'd have your work overalls, and then dungarees would be more of a fashion thing. So it'd be more of an outfit rather than it being a work thing.
I know what you mean. It's a fun word though to
Isn't
say,
it?
isn't
It
it?
is.
Dungarees. Like one of
It's a
those.
silly one.
If you say it multiple times, that probably becomes a tongue twister as well. But yeah, so dungarees is the word we would use for overalls.
The next word on the list is petrol station versus servo. We've got used to this now, haven't we?
I say
bit?
that. Yeah, I say servo.
But anyone that's in the UK that have never been to Australia, they would never in a million years call it a servo. It's definitely, as you guys I'm sure know, is a very Aussie thing for you to do. There is a bonus point with this one as well, isn't there?
Yes, well, actually, there's actually a double bonus point because there is a scenario when we first came to Australia 2 years ago when we were doing a road trip up the east coast. We actually stopped at a petrol station or a servo.
I think this was in Newcastle.
Was it? Yeah, it was in
Yeah.
Newcastle. When
Yeah.
we stopped for petrol, and I needed the toilet, but in British slang mode, I went in, me and Cody talking to one another, and as I walked into the petrol station, servo, I said, "Excuse me guys, is there a bog?" It is British slang. I don't know whether anybody over here uses the word. It's a bit of a grim word. Cody rolls her eyes when I say it. But that's what I would refer to as a dunny, or a toilet.
Or a loo.
Or a loo.
Maybe you guys use the word loo.
I think maybe the word loo has been used. But I think dunny is the one that's used more than anything. Have you got a dunny in here is what I should have said. But instead I went in and went, "Excuse me guys, do you know where the bog is?" Or "Have you got a bog?" And they were like, "A bog? Is your car bogged? What's going on?" So yeah, we were watching Russell Coit the other day.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, your car's bogged."
Yeah.
So they must have been, what on earth? Is he saying that his car's bogged? Is he saying that he's scared about getting his car bogged? Yeah, but I would use that to describe a toilet. Not the nicest word. So Cody usually looks at me and gives me a bit of a stern look, like, "Come on, why are you saying it?" She doesn't like the word anyway. But what is the other bonus point as well?
It is off license versus bottle shop.
Okay.
Again, bottle shop, we didn't even know that they were separate places until we moved to Australia, because we don't tend to drink too much. Not that often, because we've not really got too many friends here yet. We didn't really know about the shops for the first, like, probably couple of weeks at least of living here. We didn't even notice that they were separate.
Yeah.
It's quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a confusing one. When you first come over, we would call them an offie or an off license. You're nipping down to the offie, and they call them bottles, not servos, different thing. Just stick a no on it, it's usually right in Australia. And the last word on the list to wrap up our collection of 10 words that we can't say in Australia is A&E. Now, I don't know whether Aussies know what this is. If I was to say, "Help me, I need to go to A&E," you might help better understand what I'm trying to say.
In the context
In the
of things.
context, but A&E is accident and emergency. This would be the section of the hospital where if you've had an injury, let's just say if people have been in a crash, you would want to get them in an ambulance and they would go directly to A&E. A&E, I sounded weird when I said it. A&E is how you would say it. You would never say A&E, you'd just say A&E. I think from my research that I've done here, online, again, this might be wrong, this might be what Americans call it, slap on the wrist for Google if that's the case, but it said that Australians call it just emergency, or they call it ED. Now,
Emergency department, is that?
emergency department. Now, I think in America they call it ER. I've heard
Emergency
ER.
room.
Emergency room or emergency recovery, I don't know what it is in America, but is that correct? Do Australians call it ED or just emergency?
Yeah.
And we would call that A&D, accident and emergency. Quick, he needs to go to A&E, save the man's life, help him. So, that is our collection of 10 words and a couple more bonus ones added in for a bit of spice, a bit of zhuzh.
These have been really fun recently, haven't they, these videos?
Been enjoying these.
We've been doing a lot of comparison.
Yeah.
As Joe mentioned at the beginning of the video, please do let us know in the comments below if you have enjoyed these videos, because we certainly have enjoyed sitting down and comparing them, and hopefully you've maybe learnt a little bit of something or just had a little bit of fun.
Definitely. And if there are any words that have not made it onto the list, that maybe you've been over in Britain or you have British friends, they've said these words and you've gone, "What on earth are you saying?" There's no comprehension behind anything that you're mentioning right now. Get that word in the comment section below, and as we said, if we ever come back to these points, we'll be sure to mention you in future videos.
So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to our wonderful members. You guys are super duper, and this list is getting very long.
It is.
But we just want to say thank you very much again, and we will see you in the next video.
Hold up. Before we say bye,
Oh,
let's get the star of the show.
here he is. He's the star of the show. He's a good boy. I had an exam yesterday, and he came with us, didn't he? And he was wandering around Brisbane with you all day.
He did.
It was very cute.
He had a lovely time and he got lots of attention, but he's been chilling on the deck. He does need a trim. But thank you very much for watching, guys. You got your Picco fix right at the end of the video. Hope you did enjoy, and we shall see you in the next one. Adios.